Welcome back to the P-Security channel. Today we've got a really interesting test up for you guys. What I've done is I've got Windows 8.1 with Private Firewall installed. Now, as you know, I've already recommended using Windows 8's default protection along with an additional firewall and intrusion detection software like Private Firewall or Komodo. Now, Private Firewall is a less user-intrusive option and more automated option as compared to Komodo Firewall. Lots of people don't prefer Komodo because of their large number of alerts. So I decided to give Private Firewall along with Windows 8 a test to see if this would be the ideal solution for a novice user. Of course, assuming they do like to use Windows 8.1. So this is your default installation, and I'll just show you that Windows Defender is fully up to date. I've not entirely patched up the system because we're not going to check that part, and most of the malware I'll be using will be in the wild malware, so it won't really matter whether or not your system is patched. So this is purely Windows Defender, the download protection, smart screen filter, and Private Firewall, and we'll see how good they can do and whether or not they can protect the system from getting infected. So I've got some zero-day malware samples over here just as usual, and we'll try them out and see what happens. Like, we've got some really interesting samples here. Some of them are pretty dangerous. So let's go ahead and see how our system's protected. Let me just show you that Private Firewall is running in default settings. So you can see process monitor is turned on medium. I haven't changed any settings. So let's see how this duo does. So first we've got this interesting Trojan, and straight away it's caught by the smart screen filter. Now, as we all know, Windows has included pretty decent signatures with smart screen filter and Windows Defender. So number one's caught. Now let's try number two. The second one's blocked as well, so you can see Windows is doing pretty well with signatures these days. Let's proceed to the third link, which is a weird extension file, and I'm sure it's malware as well. And it's caught. Can't be downloaded because Windows has found it to be malicious. So far so good. This is a rootkit. Let's see if it runs. Once again, caught by Windows. So as we can see already, the signatures are pretty solid with Windows 8.1 when you put together smart screen filter and everything else. This has definitely raised the bar for all security products, requiring a much higher minimum standard. So products like FProd that, don't do that great, have pretty poor signatures, are definitely going to suffer as a result of the improved Windows signatures. For some reason, the security scan on this is taking a while. And as you can see, this is unsafe as well. Let's proceed to the next link. Once again, caught and blocked. Now this is a site that's going to try to drop some file. Let's see if it succeeds. Nope. This text file has been caught. That's great. This is also blocked. Good news once again. And this one's caught too. Now the last one is a double extension file. Let's see if it gets through. No, it's blocked. And I think it was down anyway. So pretty good news there for Windows Defender. An absolute sweep in terms of detection. It's caught all 10 links, and I have to give them credit for making signatures that good, because these are zero-day links, and if you had Windows 7, you'd probably have at least 9 or 10 pieces of malware running on your system by this time. So this is even better than a lot of other basic free anti-malware solutions. So I don't think Windows 8 protection is to be taken casually. This is a very serious competitor. So now I'll get my samples and let's see what kind of detection rate Windows can manage. We've got 500 pieces of malware here. All of these are in the wild, almost 0 day. I'm not exactly sure. They might be about from maybe a day old, but they're pretty new malware. So let's see how Windows Defender fares up against these samples. So I'll do a little scan, remove the items, and we'll check the detection rate. Windows Defender has completed removing all this stuff. So let's see what we're left with. Wow, we've got nothing at all. So it looks like Windows Defender managed an absolute 100% detection rate on these samples. That would be astounding, really. But looks like there was a little bit of a mess here. Let's wait for a few minutes. Yeah, we've got 40 items left over. For some reason, it's a little bit slow to respond. I guess Windows might still be processing a few of these. So we've got 40 items left. Let's see what kind of detection ratio that gives us. So that's a 92% detection rate. Excellent, considering these are pretty new samples. So not bad at all. Windows Defender did do pretty well. But as we all know, no signatures are good enough, and even with the best signatures, you have some files left over, as we do here. And just signature-based protection is not enough. We need something like a firewall or an intrusion detection system or a behavior blocker to back that up, so that zero-day threats can infiltrate into the system. So now we'll just run these files and see how Private Firewall works out. And Windows Cloud might catch a few. Let's see what happens. So I'll be running randomly around 10 of these files, and we'll see what happens. Okay, Private Firewall says block. Great. Once again, Private Firewall, up to the job. I'm just hitting the recommended action. If it says allow, I'll hit allow. If it says block, I'll hit block. That's what I'm doing. This might be some kind of adware. We do know that Windows Defender is slightly lenient when it comes to adware. I'm just hitting the default action. As you can see, Private Firewall is doing very well. We're not seeing a lot of files managing to get through. It's giving us this warning, and the default action almost always seems to be blocked. Of course, this might lead to, regularly used programs getting blocked that are legitimate, and that's where the problem might start. But based on just malware blocking, it's doing pretty well. I guess that'll be the last file. I've already run about 10, and yeah, as it says, it's going to automatically block in 20 seconds. I'll just hit the block button. So this is more automated as it performs the action after a given amount of time. So even if you're not responding to these alerts, it'll still block the malware. So fair enough, I'll just let this malware run for some time. I'm sure we've got some stuff in the memory, and Windows Defender is catching some of these. So I'll just let the situation develop, and we'll see what we're left with. I'll do a scan with Malwarebytes and Hitman Pro, just as usual. This is the full review treatment for Private Firewall and Windows Defender together. So let's see how they performed. I'll be back with the results of Hitman Pro and Malwarebytes. Now here's some immediate changes that I noticed. My browser's homepage has been changed. You can see this icon over here. We are getting some more alerts, so I'll keep blocking. And let's just open up Internet Explorer. So there you go. The homepage has been modified. And even if I try to search, my search client, like anything, yeah, there you go. So my search engine has also been modified. This is probably just adware behavior, and as we all know, Windows is a little bit lenient when it comes to adware. It doesn't flag a program unless it's really malicious, and that's why it doesn't get a lot of false positives. So there's a bright side and there's a dark side. It's up to you which one matters the most in your case. So I'll be back with the results. Both Hitman Pro and Malwarebytes have completed scanning, and as you can see, they haven't found any remnants of malware. So most likely this is not malicious. It's probably just some kind of adware that's not dangerous enough to be classified as malware. So as you can see, Private Firewall along with Windows 8 is a pretty good combination, and it should protect you from almost everything as long as you run it with something like the default settings. And as long as you keep these settings, there's no reason why you should be worried. You don't need any other kind of anti-malware protection as long as you use a decent enough firewall and Windows 8 combined. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little review. Hope you found it useful. If so, then please subscribe and like. And have a nice day. I'll come up with more tests in the near future. So see you guys then.